Welcome back to Sienna Racing. Today we're working on this piece of shit and we're basically going to be installing some headers, which are these eBay Shorty piece of junk headers, and we're going to see how much of a pain in the ass they are to put on. So the first step is obviously taking off these stock headers, and it's just 24 11mm studs, but most of the time they're going to be looking a little bit like this, and the nut has been fused to the stud, so it's really like a bolt that you're taking out. Some of them you'll get lucky and just the nut will come on, or you can be an idiot and spend $100 from FCP Euro or BMW and get a new stud kit, or you can get a Race German kit, which is like 80 bucks, and those have the bigger nuts on them, and that's probably what I would get if I had the money, but I don't. So we're going to be using these crusty old bolts, and I've already taken these headers off, so it's not a huge pain in the ass. But if you haven't taken headers off before, I would probably So the next step here is going to be taking off these exhaust bolts on the bottom, which are these 15mm copper nuts, and they're kind of a pain because they're oblong and they don't exactly come off very easily. So I would recommend using a sheep's foot like this one attached to a ratchet. Just gives you a little more clearance and allows you to get them off easy. So little update here, got the headers out. In order to drop the back one, I actually had to drop the whole exhaust down. So now that that's down, I'm able to get the old ones off and start putting the new ones. This is a 24 valve swap T30, so I was having some trouble putting them in through the top, so I found it easier to get them in through the bottom. If you have AC, good luck. I don't know how you're gonna do this because you can't fit them through here. You can only get the front header through this gap, but the bottom one you're gonna have to put through the bottom right here. But if you have AC, that compressor is gonna block that. So I don't know if I would recommend these if you're 24 valve swapped with AC, but for now it's just going to be a process of bolting these guys up and reattaching them to the headers. Also, another small note here is if you had an experience like mine where your studs came out with the nuts, highly recommend to hand thread these in so you don't strip the head, because the head is aluminum and you can easily strip that out. But here's another look at the clearance. This is on a 24 valve swap car with Condor mounts, and you can see there's not a whole lot of clearance. So it's definitely not the easiest thing to do, but it's definitely doable. So a little bit of an update here. Been a real pain in the ass. This is not going very great, to be honest with you. I probably only got about 6 of those bolts up there actually in. And I figured out that you can't actually tighten those down until you get these things in. And in order to get these things in, the whole exhaust has to be loose, and I retightened the exhaust and had to take it back down. So now we're gonna see if loosening the exhaust helps me line these up a little bit better than they are. Also, you want to make sure to put the gasket in. Obviously, they're not in right now because I've just been trying to see if it will fit. You probably won't have this problem unless you're swapped. I imagine on E36 they would align better because this exhaust was a pain in the ass to start with, even with the stock headers. So I imagine on an E36 this isn't that bad, but unfortunately this is not an E36, so everything sucks. Another reason why you probably shouldn't swap your car is every time you have to do something, the clearance is minimal to none. So I'm going to see if I can get these on, and if I have any more tips about it, I'll definitely share them. Racers, a little update here. It is currently 2 in the morning in the garage, and these fucking things are still not on. So if you plan on, you know, doing this in an afternoon, I probably wouldn't recommend it. This is terrible so far. The way that these eBay headers are designed, they are bolt through on the side where it connects the exhaust down there. Try to zoom in for you guys. So as you can see, there's a bolt, which means that you have to hold the bolt on one side while simultaneously screwing it on the other side. And it's just really hard, and it just doesn't want to go on. So I'm very frustrated, and I'm gonna be picking this up tomorrow when I can think straight, because I can't do this anymore. I'm very pissed off at this thing, and I don't want to do it anymore, and I want to go to bed. Here's a good example of these studs. So these ones, they don't have a bolt on this side, so all you have to do is zip them on this side right here. It's still a pain, but it's a lot easier than having to hold a bolt on this side while also tightening this in an area that has basically zero clearance. I mean, that one has clearance, but like the other ones, like, good luck. Especially like that side, and then the two that are like facing the block on that side, it's almost impossible. So far, this is a 10 out of 10 install difficulty for me, but for some people, it's probably like a 30-minute thing, but not for me. Not on this car.